Hello guys. So finally my graduation is completed and now I am back with the new series of tutorials to help you to understand all the concepts very easily. So if you are planning to learn an operating system or just preparing for your exams, then you don't have to be worried about reading whole books, because here in this series of tutorials I will cover almost all the important topics, not only from the books but also from the other sources, so that you can understand each and every topic very easily. So for this series of tutorial I will prefer these two books, that is an operating system concepts from an Galvin and a modern operating system from an Tenenbaum. So let's start with the today's topic, that is an introduction to an operating system. In today's generation we can't imagine the world without an computers, because we all are somewhere and somehow dependent on the computers for our day-to-day life, from desktop, laptop, smartphones, tablets, etc. But actually we don't know how it works, right? Why? Because of the simple user interface which is used across all these devices, and hence everything works very easily and smoothly just on your fingertips or on the click of your mouse. But actually it's not that simple. There are lots of stuffs are happening at the same time. For example, you are playing an online video game. So just to think about the processes which are executing at that time, like it is sending and receiving lots of data at the same time over network. Plus, it is also gives you an output on your speakers or on your screen. Plus, it is also listening for the inputs from joystick or either keyboards. So there are lots of processes are executing at the same time, and these all processes requires and resources for an execution, like the CPU, the main memory, your hard drive, and input output devices. So if we compare this scenario with a real life example, then it is something like the traffic in a city where all the peoples, all the vehicles are trying to access the same road at the same time. And if it would not be handled very well, it would be a lots of chaos, right? So if we observe here, we need something who control the flow of these vehicles, who control the flow of these peoples, so that it can avoid the traffic at these different roads. So similarly, in our computer system, we need something who control the flow of these multiple processes which are executing at the same time. We need something who manage the different hardwares. So what is the simple solution for this traffic problem? A traffic police. Traffic police who manage all this traffic. So similarly, operating system is act as a traffic police in a computer system. A traffic police will simply shows the path to the vehicles so that it can avoid the traffic at the different roads. So similarly, operating system will simply act as a resource allocator or a resource manager so that it can avoid the collision at the different hardwares. Plus, other job of this traffic police is to control the flow of these vehicles. So similarly, operating system will simply control the flow of these multiple processes, and it decides that when and how to execute these processes. But one important thing is that this traffic police can take a decision by its own, but a computer and operating system can't take a decision, right? So the operating system is nothing but a one pre-installed program which is always running on your computer. So without this program, your computer is nothing. So that's why whenever you are upgrading your operating system or during a system update, it always shows that the please ensure the battery has sufficient charge. Why? Because any problem happens during the installation of a new operating system may leads to the system failure. Your computer may get crashed. So that's why it always shows this message. So now you all have a clear idea of what is an operating system, but obviously you are not going to write this all in your exams. So let's see some of the theories. So what is an operating system? So here are some of the examples of an operating system, like Windows and iOS and Unix and Android. So an operating system is a system software. It means a simple program that manages a computer hardware and a user processes and provides a common services for a computer programs. A program running all the time on your computer is known as a kernel. Next thing is the purpose of an operating system. So the purpose of an operating system is to provide an environment in which a user can execute multiple programs simultaneously in convenient and efficient manner. So it does nothing by its own, it simply provides an environment for execution of multiple programs. The operating system acts as an intermediary between user and computer hardwares, and it controls the execution of application programs. So first thing is why we need this operating system as an intermediary between user and computer programs, right? Because there are multiple processes which are trying to execute at the same time. Now we know that all the programs, all the data are stored in a hard drive, and all the processes are executed in CPU. But the problem is that CPU doesn't have a direct access to the hard drive. So all the data must be resides in RAM, right? All the programs which are going to be executed must be stored in the RAM, and we have only one RAM and one CPU, and multiple processes are trying to access these resources, that is RAM and CPU. So for the management of these, we are using intermediary as an operating system. So next thing is an abstract view of an components of a computer system. So basically we have four components, that is users, system and application programs, computer hardware and operating system. So user who are trying to access who are trying to execute multiple programs, right? So that are application programs like your notepad, your VLC media player, your word, etc. So these are the applications, and these applications are trying needs and hardware for an execution. So for this communication, we need an operating system as an intermediary. Now, next thing is the roles of an operating system. So for the roles of an operating system, we have two point of views, user's point of view and system's point of view. Based on the user's point of view, act as an interface between hardware and the programs which are requesting for input output devices. So that's why whenever we are writing an program, we never have to worry about requesting for the input output devices like keyboard and mouse and a screen, right? Why? Because it is the operating system will handle everything. We just need to write printf and scanf. Everything is handled by an operating system. Next thing is the system's point of view. So it will act as a resource manager and manage the resources of computers, and act as a control manager or a control program to manage the execution of a user programs to prevent the errors, handles the interrupts generated by an IO devices or IO controllers. So, okay, that is the introduction of an operating system. That's it for today's lecture. If you have any queries, here is my contact details. You can contact me. Here is my WhatsApp number. You can WhatsApp me also. So, okay, guys, thank you. Bye bye. Take care. And don't forget to subscribe.